Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Random Conversations. I'm Danielle,
And I'm Noel.
and we're here for another episode, bringing you guys some good content and good topics to talk about. So, you had shared a story with me about male loneliness and the fact that certain males, when they reach a certain age, they can't keep up with the day to days of life, meaning like their social life. So, do you feel that it affects you
Uh,
since you're like a family man and
Yeah,
doing all that
yeah.
stuff? You don't have time for
yeah,
your things anymore, per se.
for sure. I feel like, at least in my experience, when I was younger and I was single, I prioritized my friends. They were like the most important thing in my life. I would have girlfriends and stuff like that, but my boys was more important than that. And then I met my wife and I had my kids, and now they're the most important thing in my life. And I prioritized them to a fault, I think, where I might talk to my best friends maybe like once every couple months or something like that, just to make sure everybody's breathing. Um, and I noticed that that's not the case with women. I feel that women are a lot better with keeping in touch with their friends. They talk regularly on the phone. They always planning. At least my wife, she's always planning get-togethers with her friends. And I always envied that because it's not like I don't think about my friends every now and then, but sometimes it's just with everything going on in life, it just seems so hectic. You feel like you don't have the time. Um, and I think it's important for us as men to have a life outside of our family. It's important to maintain those friendships. Um, because with, say, you get in situations where maybe you and your wife are not seeing eye to eye. And your kids are driving you crazy, but you have no outlet, no one to talk to about it, no one to just vent to, or no one to escape to. Sometimes you just want to get out of the house and just hang out.
With your boys.
With your boys and just let off some steam and relax, and then you come back recharged and you're ready to get back into family life.
But do you think your friends are in the same boat, or is
For
it
sure.
just you?
For sure. It's not just
So why
me.
don't you guys just like get together and see if there's ways that you could combat that?
Well,
But do you feel lonely?
Well, it's funny because
Do you feel lonely? I feel like a therapist.
Well, sometimes you feel lonely because sometimes, like when your wife is not getting you, or you feel like she's not, really picking up on what you're dealing with, um, you have no one to talk to. There's no one to bounce ideas off of and try to talk you off the ledge, so to speak. You need those people in your life to kind of put you back on track. Because sometimes, as much as you love your family and much as you love your wife or your husband and stuff like that, you start thinking crazy thoughts when you get into these fights and you're ready to just drop everything at a drop of a hat and just throw in a towel. And sometimes you need that good friend.
You need balance.
Yeah, that good friend that'll just tell you, like, everything is all right, man. You just a little pissed off. Just cool off, talk about it. And they kind of encourage you to, work things out. I feel that, and sometimes you just want to hang out. Sometimes there's certain likes and stuff like that you have that your wife might not share. And like, say I love sports, but my wife is not really a big sports fan. So I don't expect for her to sit on the couch and watch the Jets game with me from start to finish. Like, she might put in the effort and watch maybe half of the first quarter, and then she's in her phone for the rest of the game. And you're like, did you see that? And you look over and then she's like in her phone, not paying attention. And, it's just nice to be able to share your likes with like-minded people sometimes. So I think it's important to maintain your circle of friends.
Yeah, I second that. I don't have any trouble with that. I mean, I'm a mom, I'm a single mom, but I also have a great support system, which allows me to go out with my friends and enjoy a lot of time with them. Also enjoy a lot of time with my son. So I don't experience, I'm not a man, but I don't experience the loneliness that certain men like in your position can feel from time to time. But it's also good to have that balance because it keeps you on track. Balance always keeps you on track. So men out there, I think it's pivotal that you guys get together at least once a month.
Yeah, we talk about it. We tried. Like, the last time I hung out with my friends was back in February, and we said we every time we hang out, we say the same thing. We go, we got to do this.
You just gotta
try to do this at least
it
once a month, and then all of a sudden, it's July and we haven't hung out, and it's crazy. But
I get it. Life gets in the way.
It does.
But in order to, what?
I think it's life, but also I think society has done a great job of reprogramming males, especially when it comes to family life. A lot of us grew up with fathers who were, bringing home the bacon, working doubles, maybe not home as much as we would have liked. So we course corrected into a fault, right? To the point where sometimes when your wife might be pushing you out the door, like, go hang out with your friends, it's been a while. And you feel a level of guilt leaving her home with the children by herself. It's weird. It's like you're so excited to go out, but you're like, should I be going out? Like, she might need help. It's like you rewire yourself in a way that going out with your friends almost seems like a
sin.
Like a sin. Yeah, like you're not doing the right thing. Like you should be home with the family.
Well, if she's pushing you out the door, I don't see why you feel guilty.
Right. I mean,
push me out the door. I'm like, all right.
But yeah,
see you later.
We definitely. I feel like a lot of us have to break out of that. It's okay to go out and socialize and have fun, and but please believe the wives are doing that.
Exactly.
The ladies are doing that, and they do it to such a great degree.
You always hear us talking about, when we're going out for girls' night, right? And then the next thing you know, the man is always home and she's texting the man like, I'm drunk, can you come pick me up?
Yeah.
It's like a norm. So that means you need to get out the house too.
Yeah, we do need to get out the house. I need to get out the house. Them kids be driving me crazy. I got to go.
Well, hopefully that happens. I don't think you're lonely, but it's a way to combat the male loneliness epidemic that's, coming up, especially with men who have children, have families. So just go outside, touch some grass if you want, just make sure that you're having time for yourself. So speaking males, there's this photo that came out with a comparison between Big Sean and Drake. It looks like they got cosmetic or plastic surgery.
The male BBLs.
Yeah, the male BBLs. Big Sean had it on his abs. And I think Drake had abs too, but you told me earlier that he also did his muscles.
I think he did other work, but
Drake's been in the gym though.
Yeah, he been in the surgery. He been in the OR. Because them
He's
abs
been under the knife more.
Yeah, them abs aren't real. That's just crazy to me. There's something to be said about going in the gym and getting it the natural way. You feel much better about yourself doing it, and you'll feel much better in the process. You'll feel much better overall, health-wise too. You go, you get the liposuction, they do whatever they have to do to give you these abs. You're still unhealthy inside. You just covering it. It's basically gold-plated shit. So you have, you can't. You're cheating yourself. You're not fooling anybody else. You're just cheating yourself. And everybody knows that you went and paid for it. It's not like he did it in some sort of discreet
But wait,
way.
did Big Sean say that it was plastic, like it wasn't real?
He didn't say it was plastic surgery.
Are we assuming that
we're assuming it? And
what if it's not true?
If it's not, I don't know how that can be true. If you look at the photos,
I don't think he
Big Sean only has abs. His arms is flabby. His shoulders are weak. He don't have any muscle definition anywhere else but inside the abdominal area. It looks weird.
When women get a BBL
and they got chicken legs,
and the behind doesn't match the legs. That's what it looks like. His abs doesn't match the rest of his body. So it's like,
it don't make no sense. It's embarrassing to look at, and I feel.
I get why they think that is fake, but if it's real,
nah, it ain't real. It ain't real.
I'm just saying. I'm just
This is reminding me of back in the day.
Seeing the good in everything.
This is reminding me of back in the day when everybody was trying to figure out if Kim Kardashian's ass was real or fake, and she was going through all these.
You think she kick-started the whole? No, I don't think she kick-started, but
I think she made it popular because people
get a BBL.
Yeah, people been getting Brazilian butt lifts forever, but I think she popularized it.
Yeah, because everybody and their mother was doing it right after, going to the basements and getting it done, flying out overseas to get it done. But the thing is, I don't see why men feel the need to have plastic surgery for that. Because there's a lot of women that really don't they like that, that's a plus. But there's a lot of women out here that don't care if you have 6 packs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
There's women out here that will rather have a chubby dude.
hold on. We got the picture that we talking about so that you guys can see. So this is Big Sean over here on the right and Drake on the left.
Drake's looks way better.
Yeah.
You know he paid top dollar for that. And this is what Kendrick was talking about in one of his diss records, that he went under the knife.
Yeah, he did go under the knife. And
But
Big Sean,
I could see like right here.
it looks weird.
Yeah.
It don't look good. He gonna have to get in the gym and get them arms right because
To match everything.
his shoulders, like it don't look right. It don't look right. And to your point, women, it's crazy the things that attract women. I know some women who are attracted to calves. Like if you got massive calves, like that's a major turn on.
They don't even care about the six pack
Right.
as long as
you got some nice legs. Or some women they love chest. You know, some women love shoulders, some women love arms, some women love abs. But I think what happens is, you know, people get caught up in mainstream media and what the masses are saying
And
is
the thing
attractive.
is with them too, they could get any woman that they want.
Right. You don't need
that.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the point? Maybe it's a self-esteem issue. I remember a couple episodes back I told you that women don't come out dressed to the T for men. They do it for themselves. Maybe but then the thing is
I feel men
they're not walking out here with their shirts off all the time.
No. I mean, if you got it, you walk it.
If
you got it, you'll flaunt it, because anybody who's in the gym knows how hard it is to attain it and how hard it is to maintain it. So, you know, if you got it, you deserve to show it off every now and then.
Yeah.
But going about it this way, going about it that way to pay for it is just ridiculous to me. I think it speaks to this generation, and it makes me understand why some of these men coming up now do some of the things that they do, like wear dresses and paint their nails and all of that stuff. Like, I think it goes.
They want to do that because they want to do that.
Yeah, but if you grow up idolizing certain people, and the people you idolize are doing, like I grew up idolizing Kobe Bryant. If you ever see me play basketball in the park, like my game looked like his because I idolized him and I watched every move he made.
What person out here who's wearing nail polish like that?
They got a lot of
Drake wears, but it's not constant. It's not consistent.
They got a lot of dudes out here wearing nail polish. You got dudes wearing dresses. And the thing is, it's the people that these kids nowadays are looking up to. So if that's what I look up to, what do you think I'm going to emulate? Right? That you emulate.
So
your,
now
your
you
heroes.
think the biggest Big Sean fan, right? Instead of him going to the gym, he's just gonna get plastic surgery.
What I think is people are gonna be looking at these photos, and they're gonna also be looking in the comment section to see what is the overall consensus about the pictures, how people feel about it. And I think it's starting to normalize that. Just like with the BBLs, once it became normalized, all of a sudden everybody started getting it.
Dang.
Right?
So that means every dude gonna walk around here with a six pack.
There's a potential for that too. You know, why go in the gym 5 days a week for an hour and a half to try to get abs when I could just go under the knife for like $2,000 or how much it costs and get a six pack, right? So it all speaks to society and what's acceptable at the moment in time. BBLs was acceptable at the moment in time, but now you see a lot of women getting reductions or reversing it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not a stretch to say that men might go the other way with it too and start getting six pack.
Hey, it says what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and a lot of us women want to be on the same level as men and do certain things that men do. So they're like, so if y'all can do it, then we can do it.
Yeah. It started with the damn spray paint in the haircuts. The
the Beijing.
The Beijing. That I feel like that's what started it. You had these bald men.
So but it still don't even look right.
Yeah, that looked terrible. There was a coach in the final in the NCAA tournament, and he had like the Golden Arches hairline. You know,
I think I saw.
He painted
it's
it
so
in.
silly. You might as well just
crazy.
pay for a hair transplant.
Mm-hmm.
Go to
Turkey.
Go to Turkey and get a hair transplant if that's the case.
People are augmenting their bodies now. That's it's becoming normal now. You're getting your hair transplanted. You're getting abs put on. You're getting ass put on. You know, people putting in calves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Chest
Some
implants.
people, I think,
all of that.
People who want to get taller,
Mm-hmm.
they do some type of surgery, and you could get taller.
But I heard it's very painful.
Of course, that's painful.
Yeah.
Ouch! Because you're stretching the skin
You're stretching the bone
and then the
everything.
bones. Come on now.
Kevin Hart could benefit from that.
Don't
though.
do that to him.
5'7". Damn, get you like
Listen, he's good
like
the way-
3 more inches.
Don't you feel like society was better when everybody just accepted who they were
I don't think there was ever a point in time
aesthetically?
I don't think there was ever a point in time when people accepted who they were. I think society had the standard of beauty changed for every generation. I think back in the day, society had
Like
glorified.
people actually loved a natural body. Like look at the 90s, right? The women and people say it now, like when you look at music videos, let's say, or people who were considered bombshells in the 90s, they think that those type of people are better than the ones that you consider bombshells now.
Yeah, because they're natural.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like back then you could accept a natural body, but today it's like, oh, I got to get this fixed. I got to get that fixed, and I got to do it now.
But back then, the argument was that you're making these unattainable beauty standards based on the uplifting
You said
of
back
certain
then?
of certain women. Today, the beauty standard you can attain if you have enough money.
Well, they were saying it back then, but nobody was listening.
Back then, it was like, oh, because now you have like the plus size models and all that stuff. There was a push to make sure that every woman was advertised, right, and made to be seen as beautiful as well. Back then, there was a very specific body type. Like you had the Halle Berrys, you know what I'm saying, slim, petite, pretty face. It was, and
I think
that
they
was
showed
that was the
everybody.
image. That was the image of perfection back then, and I felt like women were more depressed because those were bodies that, natural bodies. Genetics gave those women that body, not money. Today, you look at a woman, you say, "Oh, she has a BBL. I could go get that. Oh, she has breast implants. I could go get that. Oh, she has lip filler. I could go get that. Oh, she got her nose done. I could go get that." Right? But back in the day, when you're looking at these women, they just dropped dead gorgeous because they were born that way. And they
I think the message was still
there.
out there. The message was still out there. They just didn't want to listen, because there's people out there. Well, people back then were saying you're beautiful the way you are. You're beautiful the way you are, but they weren't, I guess, processing it because they still felt like, no, I have to look like this person. I don't know. Maybe social media exacerbated it, making it seem okay because it's now more in your face. But they were saying it back then. It's just that I guess the means that, or the way the message was carried wasn't acceptable to them.
I think there's more of a space for everyone now, though. Like, look at Lizzo. Like, I feel like big girls have a space now, and they're in everything. Look at Fashion Nova.
They had a space. It just wasn't mainstream.
Right, but
they always had a space.
But now it's mainstream. If you look at Fashion Nova now, and they
I don't
they
know,
show
maybe because
like
I accept people for the way they
sizes.
are. I'm like, why don't you people just accept people for the way they are?
I mean, that in a
But not everybody thinks like me.
You're thinking in a perfect world, that's how it should be, right? But we don't live in a perfect world, right? So, but to my point about all body types kind of being accepted, and you can't fat shame anybody anymore. You know what I'm saying? This is
Even though people still do.
Not out,
But not-
like not publicly.
Yeah,
right?
not overt.
Yeah. Back in the day, it was, if you were fat, you were getting joked on all the time. Like, oh, you're fat ass, blah, blah, blah. Like everybody was joking on you, right? Now that's seen as like completely, totally socially unacceptable. Like no one is gonna do that. Yeah,
dare you?
Like, you can't do that. This whole bullying culture and stuff like that. That all that has gone away, right?
I would say like I like the advancement of like anti-bullying, because there's a lot of people that kill themselves because of that.
Yeah, I think that bullying it could cut both ways. Like you have the extreme where someone is bullied to the point where they commit suicide, and then you have the situation where bullying can make stronger human beings. Teach human beings how to deal with adversity. Everybody's not gonna.
Yeah, but not everybody has that same mindset.
It's not always gonna be sunshine and rainbows and whatnot out there in the world. You need to learn how to deal with different types of people, different types of situations, and I feel that eliminating bullying.
So you saying there's a space for bullying?
I said I think a certain level of adversity builds strong individuals.
Yeah, but not constant.
Not constant, but I don't think that it should. It's kind of hard to say because I'm like I don't think that you should try to eliminate human nature, and I think that's what they're trying to do because
well, you could crack jokes on somebody, ha 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 ha.
Right.
But bullying means it's constant.
Taking it overboard. But you need to. Your kids need to learn how to deal with adversity. You want to.
but not
make
constant.
everything. You want to make
not
everything
constant
sunshine and rainbows.
adversity.
I don't think that's real life. I think that if more kids were it goes to emotional maturity, right?
I get
Being
what you're
able to-
saying. Like, you know how you crack on somebody, haha, you get a few jokes in, but bullying means it's constantly, like every day. Like, this person's not only verbally abusing you, but some of them physically abuse you.
Yeah.
And that's, there's something's got to stop.
Well, the thing there too, in a lot of situations, the kids, they're not vocal about the bullying.
They're
that
scared because they don't
receiving.
want their parents to come, and then they get picked on because their parents showed up.
Right.
Things of that nature.
But there has to be like an open line of communication between the parent and the child when it comes to bullying. When the kid is dealing with it all on his own, they don't have the social skills to deal with that, and kids can be mean. So, but at the same time, when I think about my sons, I was like, I don't want them to grow up weak. I want them to be able to deal with adversity and to be able to handle it well. Because you're gonna run into those things from time to time.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
You don't want the first time.
I'm not saying it's
deal
gonna
with something-
eradicate,
Right.
but
you don't want the first
something's
time.
gotta give.
You don't want the first time
you don't want
deal with
nobody
something
to,
like that.
because not
when you're in
everybody's
your
mental
30s and
state is
stuff.
the same.
You're
Some
right.
kids can't take it,
You're
especially if it's constant.
You're right.
Speaking of bullying, so you had sent me a video from the Pop the Balloon episode regarding a young lady. So this guy was on Pop the Balloon, right? He popped this young lady's balloon because her hair was short. And I think that was mainly the reason why he popped the young lady's balloon.
Yeah, he said he preferred
a woman with longer hair. So he went to a woman that he didn't pop the balloon, and I think she popped her balloon, and she came into the defense of the young lady who had the short hair, basically saying that not all women are going to have long hair, not all Black women are going to have long hair, but she's a hairstylist herself. And she said, the women that come to my salon, the ones that do have long hair, is thinning and it's not healthy, blah, 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 blah. So basically, she's telling the man that he doesn't like Black women because Black women have short hair.
Yeah.
And he said, what's wrong? That's my preference. He said, and she's like, oh, your mom must have short hair. Your mom probably has short hair. And he was like, actually, no, she doesn't. He was saying that
she was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And she just kept on her rant.
Yeah. So basically she was getting on him because of his preference. So in my opinion, I don't blame him for having a preference because that's what he likes. You can't tell a man what to like. And if he wants a woman with long hair, short hair, dark hair, light hair, he has all opportunities to be like, that's what I want. We can't shame him for that, That's how I feel about it. But
Yeah,
I'll get
I
into
agree.
after what he's.
First of all, I don't know what kind of how good of a hairdresser she is because she clearly only seeing a certain type of clientele. Because I know a lot of Black women with long hair and their hair ain't thinning like she talking about. Black women, there's many different types of Black hair. It's not just the short and peasy hair that she's trying to refer to. You have some Black women with some long flowing gorgeous locks, and if he says that he wants a Black woman with long hair, and he wasn't very specific as to the type of hair that he wants. He just said that her hairstyle was too short and he preferred a woman with longer hair. Right now, she was triggered by that. I don't know what happened.
Something must have happened.
Something happened.
In her
Her life.
life.
She said she wasn't triggered, but she was triggered. She's like, you can't be talking about Black women's hair and yada yada yada, going crazy. And I was like, oh, here goes Sister Soldier. She perpetuated the angry Black woman stereotype. She didn't have to go that hard. And the thing is, on that show, women can be very harsh when it comes to the men and how they decide whether or not they're gonna pop a balloon or not. they'll
Yeah, I
talk
think
about
the women on that
right.
show are much more.
Well, they got some crazy dudes on it, but you
They're
could tell
lethal.
you could tell the people that are on there for social media to increase their social media following, and people who are actually on there for love from the way that they respond to certain things, because you could say things that isn't so mean and rude. And the way he said it wasn't mean or rude. He just stated that he just preferred a woman with longer hair, right? So that woman took it upon herself that she was going to speak for all black women when she clearly didn't, when she doesn't even know that there are black women in the world that do have long hair and they're not thinning. They just know how there's black women out there that know how to take care of their hair and properly condition it and shampoo it and treat it with everything that it needs to be treated with. And there's black women that she sees at her broke down salon that got peasy.
Now
they got
you don't
peasy
have
ass
to
hair-
call the
they got
woman.
peasy ass
This
head of
is
hair.
why she become. This is why people be coming because why you calling her salon broke down?
Because she went after the man. She disrespected that man.
Yeah,
my man
but
was
you
like,
don't
my
have
man
to
was
call-
like when she said your mama probably got short nappy hair, and he was like my mama got long hair. He's like, I wear my mom on my necklace, and my mom has long hair. She was like, I don't care, and then she just kept going on. I'm like, so you're just going to dismiss this man just because he has a preference about hair length, not hair texture, not hairstyle, but hair length, right? Because the woman's hair was a little bit on the shorter side. It didn't touch the neck, right? She was a pretty woman. I wouldn't have popped a balloon. I thought she was the prettiest one in the group, but he didn't prefer her hair, and he's entitled to that. There's women on there. A man comes in there, he's 5'6", 5'7", and they popping right off the top before he says anything. He's too short, right? And she, and in this instance, in which the girl was going off about black hair, she said that it doesn't matter if a woman has long hair, short hair. That isn't an indicator of her personality. I'm like, so height is. Yeah, so some big people have some of the best personalities, right? So you'll be blocking your blessings based off of some of these
Yeah, but
assumptions
if you're not physically attracted to the person, their personality is probably not gonna matter.
Right.
Well, actually, there's certain people, I think they call them sapiosexuals, that are attracted to the mind more so than the physical appearance. So
right. And
not everybody
is going
to look for physical appearance.
That's a very specific group in society. But most people, you won't even approach somebody unless you're attracted to them.
Yeah.
And what dictates your attraction level is very subjective to the person that's looking at you. So, like I said, the woman that he popped the balloon on for the short hair, I thought she was very attractive. He didn't think so because her hair was too short. He has a certain criteria, and that's fine. He's entitled to it, right? And that was my whole issue with it, was the fact that she was berating him for having a preference when they all have preferences on the show, right? If not, then everybody would just go around there holding their balloon, and the person coming in, like, who you choosing, you would never know, right? So, and then the show also has a way of drawing out your true intentions, your true feelings in terms of why you pop someone's balloon.
I really like that show
because they won't let you just pop the balloon and say, like, you weren't as attracted to her as the other people. They'd be like, or if you use that excuse more than once, they're gonna ask you to elaborate on it because they want to get that response. They want to elicit the response that came from the woman that we're talking about. That's what gets the views.
I like that show because it also points out people's self-esteem issues. I don't know if you saw this clip, but there's this one girl. The guy was very attractive, and there's one girl, she popped a balloon, and then the host came up to the young lady and was like, why did you pop the balloon? To give you aesthetics. The girl was like super dark skinned. She was beautiful, right? Had the twist and all that. And the dude was light skinned with dreads, buff, all that stuff. And she was like, I don't think he would prefer a woman like me. And then the host asked to elaborate. She was like, well, I just don't think, she felt like, because you know how that thing is with like light-skinned men, they prefer light-skinned girls and things of that nature. And he was like, actually, no, I think she's the prettiest one on the panel. And she was like, and then the host was like, well, do you want to get, yeah, she got her balloon back. And mind you, he ended up choosing her.
Yeah.
It shows people's shallowness. Yeah. It shows people's shallowness and also the insecurities, like is brought to the forefront on that show, because now you got to be like, all right, why do you feel this way? You got to actually be forthright and be like, okay, I feel this way because X, Y, Z.
Yeah, but then people get punished. They get punished and penalized for their honesty on that show too. It's like if you're brutally honest, then they want to condemn you. So it's a very tight rope you gotta walk when you're on that show, especially when you're trying to explain why you pop someone's balloon. But that's funny because there was a video that I saw where this light skinned buff dude, he did like I don't know if it was a TikTok video or whatever, and he was basically saying that attractive men don't pull as much women as you think,
and it's vice versa too.
Right. And he was just trying to say like, woe is me because I'm so attractive or whatever. He's like, people have like this misconception of me because I'm attractive that, he's had women come up to him and say, oh, I know your DMs is crazy and yada, 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 right? And he's like, yeah, women hop in my DM from time to time. He's like, but I'm a very shy person and I'm not like, I'm not super outgoing and stuff like that. So, he's not entertaining everything and he's not out in these streets pulling everything because of his personality. He's a little bit introverted, right? So he was like, people look at him and they get the wrong idea, right? And they were the video was trying to say, do attractive people pull more than like the average person? It's like, well, you definitely have the opportunity to, because just off the top, like he said, he gets a lot of attention. He just doesn't entertain it. Mostly because he's shy, he's introverted, right? And he's not going out to pull because he's inside, right? So I think that ultimately, don't judge a book by its cover. You never know what that person is really like.
Yeah. You don't know what their mental space is like. You don't.
They could be the most genuine person, but because I remember. Some viewers might not remember this show, but there's a show called Jenny Jones.
Of course.
Right? And they used to always do makeovers on there. Or I used to love the shows where they would have somebody come, like say in high school, they look like a quote unquote loser, right? Like geeky, stuff like that. And then they come back and they like brolic as hell or whatever. And then
I remember you called me.
Yeah, the women that used to like play them and diss them, like there's just drooling over them now. I used to love that because you just never know where somebody's going to end up. And then that person, a lot of the times, those individuals, they don't really grow up to be assholes because they weren't assholes to begin with. So, so he
could have been an ugly duckling, that guy you're talking about.
That glowed up.
And he glowed up.
Right.
And there's always those glow up situations. So be careful if there's any teenagers watching this show.
Right, don't block your blessings.
Exactly. You never know.
You don't know who's going to be who. Remember Michael B. Jordan?
Oh, yeah.
That viral moment on the red carpet?
He's like, I remember you.
Yeah.
What did she call him again?
A square? Square, corny. Something
corny.
In that
yeah, she called him corny in high school, and she thought he was going to forget. Like, oh, that's water under the bridge. Certain people don't forget what you say to them.
Words are hurtful.
Yeah, and it stayed in his mind. As soon as he saw that girl, everything came back.
As rich and famous and good looking as he is and everything, he still remembers what that girl said to him. And that. That speaks volumes.
She gonna be like, I want some residuals now. I was your motivation.
Yeah, right. She need to go. She need to stop.
But kind of switching gears, right? So there was this viral video that came out. There was this young man that was asking his mom if he could get a job because he wants to earn his own money. And the mother was basically like, no, you can't get no job because I'm on Section 8. You want me to get kicked off my Section 8? So there's a lot of chatter as to if the mother was right or wrong to tell her son that he doesn't need a job at this moment. I think she's wrong because her son obviously sees a cycle and he wants to break it. He wants to be the one to be like, okay, I'm making my own money. I don't want to rely on the government. I don't want to rely on anybody for the things I want and the things I can afford for myself. I want to get that money on my own. And I believe the mom was just like, she was just so angry about it. And to me, I'm like, why is this woman so mad that her son wants to actually get up and do something with his life?
Because going to have to get up off the bed and freaking go get a job.
And she didn't even look like an older person. She looked
she was
young and able.
Yeah.
She looked young and able to get up and get a job for herself.
Like real young. She looked young. Like she had him young.
Like she looked like she was in her late 30s. So I just don't like situations like that because you're being an enabler. Let that man go out and get a job for himself. Let him break the cycle. At least he's not out here selling drugs. At least he's not out here stressing you out. He seems like a
Well,
fairly
he is
decent
stressing out.
child.
He is
Stressing her out
because he's
you wanna
trying to get a job. How dare you go? How dare you try to get a job? You don't mess up my EBT. What the hell wrong with you, boy?
No. I find that so wrong on so many levels.
Yeah, I mean, the boy's just trying to aspire to be something. You know, he's trying to friggin' do better. You know, he sees other people. Probably sees other people in school, his peers living a better life, and he wants a taste of that. And she like, no. She's like, you get a job, you gonna mess up the Section 8. You get a job, you know, because they take a look at the household income.
Yeah.
So him getting a job, he'll throw everything off. And she was like, no, you gotta let the government help you. That's what they're supposed to do. She's like, just let them help you. Just chill.
See, that's why the government doing the stuff they're doing right now.
Yeah, because you have
they
a lot
see
of
stuff
people like
that
mooching off the government, and I hate that. I hate that.
That's one thing I
laziness.
despise. Like, if
I
you
know
could get
people-
up and do it and get it yourself, you need to get up and get it yourself.
I know people
I've
like
never
that.
I've never not had a job. I don't think, yeah, that's a double negative, but I've never not had a job since I was 18 years old. I can't even think of not having a job because I love the fact that I make my own money.
Like, what the hell
Like
you do all
something,
day?
it does something for me to know that I'm making my own money and I don't have to ask XYZ for $1 because I'm gonna make sure that I have it for myself. She doesn't want to feel that way. Like, what person would not want to feel
She's
that
over
way?
there sitting, looking busted on her bed, watching probably General Hospital season 28 or whatever it is. Like, I don't know how you live your life like that. It don't make any sense. Like, you live your life, you aspire to be nothing. You aspire to be nothing. You don't want your kids to be
If
nothing.
you can't do it
and
because
how
of
selfish
certain,
is that?
yeah, if you can't do it because of certain circumstances, I understand that. Like, if you have to take care of a child, if you have to take care of an elderly person and you dependent on that money to help fund because you can't do anything, I get that. But if you are a healthy human being and you're just sitting there not doing nothing, relying on the government, then there's something wrong.
Yeah,
There's something wrong.
There's something definitely wrong with that way of thinking. It's diseased and it's passed down. You think, I hope that he's her only child, but you know, I don't know.
We don't know.
Because a lot of these people, they have a lot of children because they want to capitalize on the tax money and all this stuff, and all the benefits that the government provides to people, low income people with certain size homes, right? Certain size families. So, and that leads us. I wanted to talk about, you know, people kind of having more kids than they could afford, right? And I feel that, you know, a lot of people think like this woman and they use the government to have as many kids as they want to just so they could continue to live a lazy life and do nothing. Then you have these people, you know, you would think, because I'm a father of 3, and, you know, taking care of these kids, taking them to school, picking them up from after school, taking them to all the extracurricular activities, and to try to carve out some time for myself is difficult, to say the least, right? But then you have these parents who, you know, they have a whole bunch of kids, and the oldest kid is basically the babysitter who has to drop off everyone and pick everybody up, you know? And then when that kid ages out and leaves the home, the next one is the one that has to kind of like take on that role. And they lose their entire childhood because now they're responsible for
which
their
leads to
brothers and sisters.
resentment,
right?
Which also leads to family feuds, and that eventually ends up into the child going to therapy or the grown adult going to therapy because they have mommy issues. Because my mom had all these kids and I was the one to take care of all of them. I didn't really have a childhood, and this is why I can't be in relationships today.
It'll definitely. I can see it presenting itself as resentment towards the other siblings too.
Yeah,
he's like, you guys had
family
a
feud.
Yeah, like, you guys had
I
a
hate
childhood.
everybody.
Yeah, you guys had a childhood. I gave up everything. I couldn't go hang out with my friends.
They got to run in the sprinklers and play in the park.
Right.
I had to
watch
watch y'all.
I had to watch you do that. You know what I'm saying?
And the little amount of fun I try to have, it got cut short.
Because there was something on social media where this 17-year-old girl, she kind of broke down because her mother, it was, you know, prom season, and she was going to prom, and it was the day before prom, and she went to the nail salon to get her nails done in the morning. I think it was like 9 a.m. or something like that. And her mom called her and said, I need you to get home now. You need to watch these kids, right? And then the day of her prom, her mother pulled the same thing in the morning. It was like, yo, I need you to watch these kids and blah, 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 blah. Right. Now, some people probably listen to this and saying like, yeah, what's the big deal? Watching your
Not
your
on
little
prom.
brothers and sisters. I feel that, it's fine every now and then. I say I gotta go, I gotta go to the supermarket because you watch your brother and sister for a little bit. Oh, I'm going out with my wife tonight. It's date night. You mind watching your brother and sister a little bit for the night or whatever. But an everyday thing where it's become their chore, their job in
It's
the
not
family
fair.
is to watch the kids and to, while you go and do whatever the hell it is that you do. I don't think that that's fair to them. Every kid deserves to have a childhood. I think one of the great disservices in life is that kids aren't they aren't told the true picture of adulthood. When you're growing up, you think, oh, I'm being an adult, I'll make money, I'll be able to do whatever the hell I want. And that's not true. There's more restrictions on you, right? There's more responsibilities, more stress. And to impose that on a kid early in life to where they never
Well,
knew,
it's
they
the
never knew.
responsibilities and more stress because the child is there. But if they were just an adult by themselves living their life,
No, but
I don't.
I feel like there's a lot of adults living in New York City that's stressed out. Rent just
Single?
rent just went up 3% for 1 year, 4.5% for 2 year loans. Everything is going up.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the kids will see that.
Right. And then
Like my
you-
mother
and
had
then
to
when you go
struggle
in-
to make ends meet because the
Right.
rent was high and
Right, but some kids are not paying attention to that, right? At least not for a while, right? But when
I think they start to realize when they're like 10, 11, and you're still a child.
it depends. It all depends on the mindset of that kid. Because when I was growing up, I wasn't really paying attention to the finances of my home. I didn't start to realize things was different until after, my parents got separated, and then I opened the fridge one day and I was like, damn, this shit is bare. I was like, because back in the day, when they were together, my mom used to come home from the supermarket with like 3-4. I used to go with her to the supermarket. We'd leave the supermarket with 3-4 carts of groceries. We had groceries for days. We were never wanting for food or drink or nothing like that. And then one day, you realize,
3-4 cars is crazy.
yeah, and it wasn't no like $500 either. It was like $250
Yeah,
or
well,
whatnot.
yeah. Now
right?
it would be $500.
Right. And you remember the portions were a lot bigger. So now you get the same price for smaller portions,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, what you used to get like 5-6 bowls of cereal out of a box of cereal, now you get like 2 bowls and you gotta get a new box of cereal. So it was just different back then. But like I said, I wasn't really paying attention to none of that until it hit me. I opened the fridge and I was like, yo. And at that time I had a job, but I was like, damn, I gotta start buying my own shit now. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Not for the house, but for me.
But 'cause I grew up a certain way. I never grew up needing something. I might have wanted something, like I wanted like a new pair of Jordans and stuff like that, but that was unnecessary and my parents didn't indulge that. But any needs I had, my needs were always met. Like always met. I always had what I needed, no questions asked. Now if I wanted like brand new sneakers or a Lacoste freaking shirt or whatever, back in the day.
She said, you don't need that.
Yeah, it's like, nah, you're not getting that. But,
Mm-hmm.
so, and then as an adult, you understand, you have an appreciation for all your needs being met because you know how expensive it is, right? When you're a kid, you're like, damn, I just want some Jordans. Like, well, I can't get Jordans, right? You're not thinking about the fridge being full all the time. Half the stuff I wasn't even eating.
Or the
'Cause
mortgage being paid.
I didn't want my mom's home cooked food. I was eating like fish sticks and stuff like that, right? Now I have a newfound appreciation for all of that stuff because I know what goes into it. I know the hard work to get the money to buy that stuff, right? And then when you say that being single, and as an adult you don't have all these, you're not as stressed out.
Because
I
you
say
don't have
someone
other
with a
mouths
family,
to feed.
But I don't believe that. People stress over different
People are
things.
stressed out,
can't-
but you would have.
I don't think
have
stress.
added stress if you had children.
I don't think.
along
I don't
with
think
it.
stress is attributed solely to having children.
I'm not saying that they're out-
we spoke about male loneliness. We spoke about the sex recession in here. We spoke about a million things. Not all of them is tied to family and children. These are like individual issues.
But
right?
if
So-
you add family and children, the stress
I mean,
will
well,
triple.
obviously, if you add it,
That's what I
no,
mean.
but there's
I'm
people
not
still
saying
dealing
they're.
with it.
I'm not saying they're avoid of stress.
Like, people are stressed out. Like, I'll never meet my someone. There was a lady on, there was a social media, a viral video where a 40-year-old woman broke down in tears because it was her 40th birthday, right? And she felt that she didn't achieve anything in life. Like, she said she felt like she went through, like she just didn't do things right. She fucked up. She felt like, half my life is over and I have nothing to show for it, right? So you have people.
Half her life is not over, but go ahead.
I'm just saying, in generality, when they say 40, you say you hit your midlife, right? So she's basically saying, I'm 40 and I have nothing to show for it. She's like, I didn't do anything right. She feels that she just went through life and she has like a bunch of regret, right? And she's breaking down, crying, depressed, right? And that didn't have nothing to do with children. You know what I'm saying? That had to do with her and how she saw herself and where she saw herself in that moment in time. And she felt like she wasn't where she should have been. And I think part of that is also due to social media and you seeing other people living their life and going on vacations all the time and, living this extravagant lifestyle, going out all the time and all that stuff. And people think like, oh, I have to have that. And if you don't have it, you're doing something wrong. And that's
I'm
why I
just
said you have to be
saying
careful how you
I'm not
view.
saying that they don't encounter stress. I'm just saying sometimes if you add more layers onto it, the
Right.
more it becomes even more stressful. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Right, because
I'm just saying that if you add more people to everything, it's gonna stress you out.
yeah, but you could use that in any type of scenario. Say I'm single, I had an apartment, I have a house. Now I'm stressing because the roof need to fix, the boiler need to change. I need a new fridge. I don't have a landlord that I could fall back on and say, yo, my lights is out. Can you change that? Yo, my fridge is out. Can you look at that? Right? Everything is on you now. So the more you take on in life, whether it be in the form of a kid, a relationship, a property, things of that nature, is the more stress that's put on you. Right? Stress. And that's what I'm saying. When you have, that's why it's so important for children, to be innocent and to be ignorant of all of that.
But
Because all
sometimes
of that is going to catch you. All of that is gonna find its way to you in no time flat. Your childhood is 18 years, and then you have another 62 to 70 years.
Well, I guess it's up to the
adulthood.
adults in their household to shield that from the children.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the children picks it up, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, gradually you get these things. Gradually, as you go through, from elementary to junior high to high school to college, gradually you start to grow up, and then your concerns start to change, right? Like I never used to watch the news. I never used to care about world news and nothing like that. I didn't care about who was the president. I didn't care about who was the mayor. And then all of a sudden,
You care.
this stuff matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I remember one time I was sitting down and I'm like watching HGTV and I'm watching people make over homes and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, I would never have sat down and watched like these shows.
It all depends on your mindset. If you have a mature mindset at the age of like 12, then you're going to think about all these things. It's up to the parents to shield it away from the children, especially if your child or children picks up on things fairly quickly and they understand certain circumstances. Then it's up to you to shield it from them so they could actually have that childhood.
I think it's a parent's responsibility to protect the innocence for a while, and then ultimately, slowly and gradually allow
so
them
they won't.
to
So
open
when
their eyes to reality.
So when they're not, when they turn 18, they don't think everything is seen through rose-colored glasses.
They still don't think Santa Claus exists.
Yeah. Yeah. But it depends on the age that you want to bring them into what life really is. It really depends on the age.
But I really think just how it's important for us to have the sex talk. I think it's important for parents to kind of to paint an accurate picture of life. I think they don't really do that. You kind of go in there and I think it's because they want to protect their children. No, I feel like a lot of our ideas about life come from the television and stuff that we consume, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember when I went to high school, I used to think high school was gonna be like Saved by the Bell. I was like, yo, it's about to be a wrap. We about to be hanging out at like McDonald's or whatever
every day.
after school and all that shit. And it was completely
Yeah.
the opposite. So, you have to be careful of that, because definitely if you're not telling them, they're getting their ideas about what life
From
is
somewhere
from
else.
outside sources, right? So you have to be careful with that.
Yeah, I agree. We agree to disagree sometimes here. So
I'm always right though.
I don't know about that. I really don't. I'm honest.
Y'all be the judge.
Like,
Tell me tell us in the comments who you think is right in each episode, if you could do that.
that's a lot.
I'm keeping score.
That's a lot. I feel like I've had some valid points and you've had some valid points.
Yeah, but I just have more valid points.
All right. Okay. So that was Random Conversations. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Noel.
And we hope to see you next week.